Today I'll be showing you guys a quick tutorial on how to get familiar with OBS and how to set up multi-track audio recording. Okay, so the first thing you obviously want to do is download OBS. I'm going to head over to my browser and you're going to want to go to obsproject.com and well, if you're on Windows, download the Windows version, Mac, Linux, well, you know what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and click that and it's going to start downloading. Doesn't take too long. Then I'm going to head over to my download folder and there it is. Well, I already have it installed, so I'm just going to move on from here. So once we've got OBS installed, you're going to want to run it for the first time. And you're going to be presented with a quick setup guide. Don't be afraid. Just select optimize for recording and click through the rest of the stuff. You'll be presented with this main window. Now you're going to want to get familiar with the settings page. So go ahead and click settings. Ignore the general and stream tab because we're only focusing on recording for this tutorial. Select output, and in output mode you're going to want to select advanced from simple. Mine's grayed out because I'm currently recording, so that's going to be a theme. When you're recording you can't change certain settings, but if you're not recording then you can. You're going to want to head over to the recording tab and we're going to just leave all of this alone. This is your default videos folder path. Your recording format you could leave as MKV or you could set it to TS. TS is more robust. In case your PC crashes during recording, you're more likely to recover your video file up to the point of the crash. But MKV is pretty convenient. For audio tracks, since we're going to do a multi-track audio setup, we're selecting tracks 1 and 2 and deselecting all the other tracks. This ensures that we have 2 audio tracks per our video recording. For our encoder, if you do not have a video card, you could leave it as X264 or software. If you do have an NVIDIA video card, you could set it to NVENC. If you got an Intel GPU, you could set it to QuickSync or QSV. And I'm not sure what the option for AMD is called, but if you've got an AMD video card, you could set it to that instead. Over at rate control, we're going to want to just leave everything as is and continue over to the audio tab. Under global audio devices, you're going to want to set your desktop audio and your mic audio. For your desktop audio, these are going to be your speakers or whatever you hear sound from. So you're going to want to set it to that specific device, or if you've only got one set of speakers, you could set it as default. For microphone, same thing. Whatever device you want to speak into is the device you're going to set as your microphone device. Over in monitoring, again, the device that you want to monitor from could be the same as your desktop audio or it could be something separate, but it must be an audio output device. Heading over to the videos tab now. The base and output resolution could be left alone, but if you want to record at 1080p, you definitely want to set this to 1920 by 1080 as well as the base resolution. Your FPS now could be left as 60 FPS or 30 FPS depending on what the guide did. And so I'd recommend not touching this value. Heading over to hotkeys, you can set an hotkey for starting and stopping recording. And in my case, I'm just using the / key for both. It's pretty convenient. You could start and stop recording with the same one key. Or you could do something more complex by holding down multiple keys. So let's try Control Shift and R. And yeah, I'm just going to set it back to what I had it before. And that's pretty much that for settings. Click Apply and then click OK to close the settings tab. Now, here's the fun part. We're going to set up sources. Okay, so to set up a source in OBS, you simply go over to the sources section. Ignore scenes for now, I just got something fancy set up there. And you're going to want to add a source. For this example, we're going to add our desktop. So we're going to want to add display capture. And I've already named my source desktop. So let's call this desk 2. Make source visible. Don't need to interfere with anything else. Click OK. And it's going to select your display. You can leave everything as is and then just select OK. And there you have it. Now you will be recording your desktop. Now let's say you want to add a webcam. Go over to add again, and now we're going to add a video capture device. Let's call it webcam. And it's important to name your sources because you don't want to just, be confused with a bunch of sources or with the default names and stuff. And my webcam's already selected, so let's go ahead and click OK. And you could see that it's filling up the entire frame, right? So I'm just going to grab this over here, and I'm going to drag it right down to the corner, and I can move it around wherever I want, right? Yeah, it's fun. It's pretty fun. Now, it's important to know that the order in which your sources are dictates the order in which they show up. So if I move my webcam down, it's still highlighted over there, but now you can't see it because it's underneath desk 2. And if I move desk 2 below desktop, well, webcam is now above again and you can see me again. So that's all you really need to remember. Before we begin recording in OBS, there are 2 things that I want to cover. Going back to OBS, when I added my webcam source earlier, it went ahead and added an audio source to the audio mixer panel. So to clarify, I'm going to right click and select Advanced Audio Properties. Over in Advanced Audio Properties, I'm going to just expand this panel here, and you can see it's right here, right? Now, I already went ahead and deselected all these boxes here. If this is the case for you, go ahead and do the same. If your webcam does not have a built-in microphone, don't worry. Next, I went ahead and selected mic as track 1, because this is a multi-track audio recording with video after all. I want my microphone present on track 1 and my background audio on track 2. So I went ahead and selected track 2 for the desktop audio, deselected all the unnecessary boxes, and that ensures that only the desktop audio is on track 2 and the microphone audio is on track 1. Now, if I wanted both track 1, as in mixed together, I would just select both boxes. If I wanted them, I'd do the same thing. If you were doing a 3-track audio recording and you wanted all 2 tracks on one, then you could have this sort of setup. But since we're only using 2 tracks, I'm going with this one. It's also better this way because if the desktop audio might be too loud, for example, it might overpower your microphone audio, and then in post, you don't have any control over the levels of the separate tracks because it's just all on one track. So I always recommend, recording to separate tracks like this. The next important thing that I want you to realize is that OBS sometimes glitches out during the recording process. The first 5 seconds of video could sometimes have missing audio, garbled audio, or the first 5 seconds of video could be completely missing. To get around this, and as a general rule of recording anywhere, you want to start actually doing your actions about 5 to 10 seconds in the recording so that when you actually play it back or go to edit your video, it's going to be there. These things are things that you could fix in post, but it's really annoying to have to re-record stuff, so always get it right the first time. Now, when you go ahead and record on all your stuff, you're going to generate a file. It's going to be in your videos folder, and I already went ahead and did a test. So I'm going to play my test recording back here. This is a test recording with microphone on track 1 and background audio on track 2. And what you notice is that you didn't hear any background audio, right? All you heard was, well, you just heard me speaking, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this video file while it's playing. This is a test here. I can select track 2. That's the second track on this video. And to prove it, what I'm going to do quickly is open up my video editing software. I use DaVinci Resolve. It's pretty nice, free as well. And as you can see in the timeline here, well, when I go to editing, there are 2 audio clips. And if I play the file back, this is a test recording with microphone on track 1 and background audio on track 2. You can see both of them play simultaneously. And if I want to adjust the volume of the background audio, I could lower it down to -32 dB. Let's play this back. This is a test recording with microphone on track 1 and background audio on track 2. Nice. And folks, that is how you do a simple multi-track audio recording on OBS.